So, when we last spoke, you're just about to play your second date of the UK tour in Manchester before heading off to Europe with Airborne.
Yeah.
So, how's that all gone?
That was great, actually. Yeah, 5 weeks through Europe and Scandinavia. Shows were amazing. They're good. Had a couple of days off. We got back the other day. We came back, like Luxembourg was the last show, I think, on like Wednesday or something. So it's been a couple of days off, and this was the last show of the year for us. And yeah, it's a bit weird not to be still carrying on touring. I mean, like, I think we could like go for another 5 weeks as well now. We just got into the stride really of it all. But yeah, it was really great. You know, European audiences were amazing. You know, couldn't have hoped for anything to go better really. It was really, really, really good.
You said that Airborne like to have you on tour because you give them a good old kick up the arse. So was that the case as always?
I think we did, yeah. Because there's another band on, a Swedish band on as well called Corroded, who were very good. And so, you know, we'd watch a little bit of them each night before we had to start getting all our own stuff ready. And that kind of spurred us on to be better anyway. And so we know the Airborne guys kind of watched us most of the time, and I think it helped as well. I think their shows their shows are much better than the ones I've seen them do before, so they've really stepped it up. And there was one show at Strasbourg where their truck had got stuck in Italy with all their backline and everything, so basically cobbled together some bits from our backline and Corroded's backline and a couple of like hired Marshall cabs, and like it was basically a level playing field sort of kind of thing, because, you know, Airborne were basically didn't have their whole stage set up, and they did really fucking well. It was awesome. It was a really amazing sort of vibe playing with those guys, and their audience is, like, you know, really appreciative of us as well. So
your set list today seemed to be, compared to the one in Manchester, certainly a little bit more hit based. Like, have you changed it around a little bit to be more festival friendly in that respect?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, we've been playing a certain set with Airborne, and because we only had 40 minutes, we started off with a certain set. And then that kind of changed a little bit as we were going on tour, because some songs weren't working for some people in the band, and we seemed to get like a really great set together that was kind of like half songs from Sons of the North and half songs from This Savage Land, and it worked really, really well. And then we only really thought about it the other day that we actually had an hour to play here, so we were just kind of thinking what songs we should do, and so we played Creatures, What Good's a Rock, and St. Peter, which we kind of, well, we played Creatures and What Good's a Rock on the Airborne dates, but the other songs that we played on our own headline tour, like some of the songs we'd like not played since then, so we were kind of a little bit out of practice with those. Which is kind of why we chose the set we chose today.
The newer songs seem to be getting a lot better received nowadays. Do you think it's taken a little while for them to bed in, sort of thing?
Maybe, yeah. I think just you know, I think people probably might know the songs a bit more now. You know, we only did a handful of dates in the UK, so, you know, if people are fans of the band, have got our record, then they've probably maybe been listening to it a little bit more and know the songs a bit more, because, you know, the tour wasn't that long after the album had come out, really, so, you know, hopefully that's what's kind of happening. Same kind of thing happened with Sons of the North, really. You know, we played those songs for a long time, and then the album came out, we were still playing those songs, and just more and more people got to know those tunes, really, so, yeah. Hopefully people are getting to know them more, we're playing them better. You know, it's a win-win situation, really.
Do you plan to play the entire album live at some point, like across dates? Because I know songs like, you played the majority of the Savage Land in Manchester, but songs like Young Tongues and Raised by Wolves got missed from the set. So are those songs that you plan to play later on down the line?
Yeah, probably. I mean, like those two songs particularly. Like we actually played. We've been playing on older shows like when we were trying them out. Like we did those shows when we played on the Jaeger dates with Skindred, and I'm sure, like, you know, when it comes around to it, depending on the set length and stuff, you know, we'll mix it up a little bit, and I guess it's just kind of getting reactions back from people of like which songs are, you know, favourites off the album and stuff like that. It's just really difficult to choose a set list. It's so hard to choose a set list that kind of works for us, that we think will come across really well. And but yeah, you know, hopefully, I mean, if we get longer to play, we'll probably play more songs off both albums. But you know, it's the time constraints in how long you get to play that you have to work out what you could actually do and how the set flows, and you know,
to try and keep it interesting for yourselves as well, because you want to play something.
Kind of, yeah, in a way, you know. I mean, maybe even play songs off some of the EPs. You know, that'd be interesting. That'd be a challenge for sure. So yeah, you know, I mean, I'm sure we'll mix it up as it goes along and try not to get bored ourselves of like playing the same set of songs. You know.
Am I right in saying that you're a father now as well?
Yeah, I've been. I've got a son that's just turned 1.
How are you finding the balance between being a father and touring?
It's difficult. Didn't think it would be, but it's very difficult. You know, it's like anyone that you know that you miss people. It's like when you're going out on tour with a band. It's like it's really, really hard, because obviously you love being out on the road and doing the gigs and stuff like that, but you've also got another life, and it's just really, really tough.
Do you try and speak to your kids as much as you can, like bringing them up and Skype?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we've done lots of FaceTime stuff, which has been great, and you know, luckily he didn't forget who I was, which was cool. You know, I mean, I guess he's young enough to get over that in a way. I'm not really sure how it is for like Erwin. He's got like kids that are a little bit older. I'm sure that's really tough too. But yeah, it's just a difficult balance really between, you know, what your real life is and what the life is of going out on the road, and you know, for that a short amount of time, because you have to go back to the life that is basically something that you're going to do probably forever. You know, I mean, bands don't always last forever, but you know, your family's always there. So it's it was really, really hard.
So to take things down a more positive road, what is the next step for the Black Spiders? And is it more of a break thing now?
Well, I think we're hoping to do some stuff next year. We want to go out and do some headline shows in Europe, try and do that before the festival season starts, which would be good. Maybe do some more UK dates. Hopefully get the album released in America, do a short run of dates there, and then see if there's any interest for us to go back. Maybe then release the album in Australia and Japan. Maybe go and tour there if that's possible. You know, everything's kind of a little bit sort of, it's all a grey area at the moment. It's kind of like, you know, if we can find labels that will put those records out, then you know they're as good as the European label that we have that's called Listenable. They've been so good. Like we've done so much press, and like we did like a TV show in France. We did like loads of radio stuff. We never really did that with Sons of the North because it was basically on our own label, and we only had like a distribution thing. And now we've got a record label that's kind of actively pushing for stuff in Europe and Scandinavia. Things are going really well out there, so hopefully if we get that same interest in different territories, then I'm sure we'll be very busy for a long time.
Is it hard to try and play to different countries and different audiences? Do they respond differently?
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to just go out and do what you do, and you know, and people are going to react to it, how they're going to react to it. It's like it's hard to judge exactly how certain crowds are going to react, especially like, if you're new to the European tour circuit or whatever and stuff. But we have kind of got used to certain countries reacting in certain ways, but that still doesn't kind of distract us from what we want to do. Basically we're presenting ourselves in a certain way, and if you don't like it, that's fair enough, but this is what you get, kind of thing, really. And as opposed to sort of playing to your audience, because once you start doing that, you're in danger of completely losing what the band's all about, and the people that aren't bothered about you playing to them will lose interest.
I think if people know that you're not being true to yourself, then they're not going to.
Sure, yeah, in a certain way, that's kind of why, although we did the pledge for the album, we didn't really ask the pledge's opinion on what the song should be for the record, because it's down to us, really, because we're the band that's doing it. Black Spiders does what it says on the tin, basically. Hopefully we're still giving people what they want and a little bit more, and it's just not the same old shit, because that would be just boring. I think we'd soon know if people weren't enjoying it.
Yeah.
It seems to be all right, We get away with abusing the audience quite a lot, which is good. I think they seem to like it, which is a bit similar to Germany as well, really. They're one of the audiences where, if you actually tell them to do something, they probably do it. Crazy. But fun.